Hey friends, Shadylikeatree here, and welcome into Reminiscing with Shady, episode 79. This is A Bug's Life. Bug's Life was developed by Traveler's Tales and published by Sony Computer Entertainment and Disney Interactive. It was also published by THQ and Activision on different platforms. It was distributed by Disney Interactive, so that was kind of the overall company that was responsible for getting this game out to the public. It was released in North America first on November 18th, 1998. It was released later in 1999, February and October in Europe and Japan. And then it was re-released on the PlayStation Network in September of 2009, and then also in July of 2010 here in North America. A Bug's Life is the game that accompanies the movie that came out around the same time. Basically, in this game, you follow the storyline of the main character, Flick. You have to dispatch, bugs. You have to get the seeds and kind of travel the world and follow the storyline of the movie, as it were, without dying, because that's kind of important. The main story basically follows this bug Flick as he is responsible for the loss of their harvest, which takes them pretty much all season. Um, they have to share their food because of some reason I'm not really sure, fear mostly, of the grasshoppers, and so Flick damages their crop, and therefore they don't have enough food to feed themselves and feed the grasshoppers. So the movie is basically about their kind of quest to get more food and surviving the coming winter, because the leaves are falling. It's fall. There's not going to be much food and much resources, so they don't have enough food to feed both kind of species, if you will. And the movie is about them shedding their the relationship with the grasshoppers, who do nothing but antagonize them and make life harder for the ants. I had this game on PlayStation 1, which is what gameplay you're watching, although it is kind of difficult to tell from, not having any open commands. Like many of the games that I played back in this time, back in 1998, 1999, a lot of the levels were very non-violent. They were very, family friendly and Disney and kind of, very acceptable to some people. We weren't necessarily allowed, I wasn't necessarily allowed, as I've said this many, many times, to play violent video games. However, I could still find fun games like this to play, and ouch, that hurts. Stop. However, I always found that A Bug's Life was really, really scary for me as a small boy. I was always freaked out by the grasshoppers for whatever reason when the movie first came out, and I don't really understand it today because it's not at all scary. It's kind of laughable how stupid the movie is, and I mean stupid in a wholesome family fun kind of way, but it's just not that it's a good Disney film, but it's not like a great film for all eternity or anything like that. The game generally wasn't well received. Game Rankings on PlayStation gives it a 55 and a half. On Nintendo 64, it's a 54. Not any better. And it really is just an advertisement for the main game. It's very linear. There's not a whole lot to do. It's not very balanced. There are just a number of things that I'm not really a fan of when it comes to this. For instance, all the enemies do kind of look the same. There's no real variation there. There are a lot of places you can get stuck. The mechanics aren't the easiest to use. Actually, before I started the gameplay here, there's some gameplay of me failing on a rope swing that was required probably 15 or 20 so times. No bug actually attacks you, but if they touch you, they kill you, and it hurts. And then right here is another place I got stuck. You fall into this little crevice, and I tried for a good minute to figure out how to get out. And you'll see me try to figure out how to find a way out of it. But all in all, the game is not that great, but I thought it was notable from my past because, like a lot of the Disney games, they didn't score necessarily the highest, but they were something I was allowed to play, and I kind of related it to the movie, and 8-year-old me didn't care that this game sucked because it was something new and something different to play. Although I will say I did not get this game right away. I think I got it maybe a few months after it came out. I should note that the Sega Saturn and Dreamcast versions of this game that were being developed were canceled. They were not pursued mainly because of the lack of interest in the game. I've also seen some instances that they were just going to be too pricey, and Disney thought that doing the PlayStation version and the Nintendo 64 version would cover enough of the base that they wouldn't have to really worry about it. This game has sort of received a second life for speedrun. I've seen speedruns that take about 40-45 minutes. And, I played this game for about an hour and barely beat the first two levels. So they're really, really, hauling it on those speedruns. Although the fastest speed run I've seen so far is just under 23 minutes. I don't really have any stories to go along with this game other than just to say that this was a game that I was allowed to play because of its kind of childish nature, and it just kind of blends into the background of the other games because it wasn't stellar or outstanding or anything along those lines. I do remember playing this on that old tube TV that I used to have that I've since traded in and traded up to 2 or 3 different TVs these days. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here as I fall to my death in a fire pit for no good reason, I suppose. But I appreciate you guys watching this video. This has been Reminiscing with Shady, episode 79, A Bug's Life, where we're just throwing berries at grasshoppers and other various bug-like creatures trying to save Flick. Oh, and I fell to my death again. Look at that. Look at me. I'm such a noob. And just trying to do what I can to save the food and save the colony. Yay, Flick. So thanks again, guys, for watching. If you like this video, please leave a comment. Let me know what you think. There are also many, many more Reminiscing with Shady videos that you guys can check out. Appropriate links. All the appropriate links are in the description. Thanks again for watching, guys. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.